I got a message for all you young people out there.
We are living in some wild times. Think it's pretty safe to say we can agree on this, huh? We've got turtles learning to run, and that's not very good. People freezing in time due to massive lag spikes around the world. Tom Nook ripping your very soul right from your wallet. I've actually never played the game, but it does sound like a good time. Oh yeah, and that one word we can't really say all that much that's keeping all of us inside up into the point where we lose our sanity and bathe in the blood of the damned. I can't believe I spent an entire morning trying to get that shot and it came out dead fucking stupid. Yes, I'm already sure you know what I'm talking about, and if not, please climb out from under your rock, fix your antenna, drop a like, and subscribe with the bell notification on for my channel. It's what all the cool kids are doing. And let's get right into today's video coverage of the most absurd ways our planet is dealing with these lovely times. And by absurd, I mean absolute grade A headassery. I'm your host, Wonderstruck, and before we get into this, I'd like to give a big shout out to our sponsor. Yeah, it's right, we actually don't have sponsors for this channel. Alright, so hopping right into this waffle brothel train wreck of an idea, we have these lovely Karens and Karenettes vibing at a playground, it seems. You know, that fun activity people partake in with groups of people, something half the planet recommends against right now, nothing too big. So anyways, we've got these Karens who apparently blew the room temp IQ whistle to summon all the other moms with nothing to do in the local playground for an ill-advised playdate. The goal was seemingly to set up enough of a movement that police would show up and I guess see a bunch of moms breaking state-mandated regulations. I suppose they thought collectively that this would make a large enough impact that the state would just say fuck it and risk people's lives to reopen everything. I guess just a desire to really come across as a Facebook hero or something absolutely as asinine as the logic surrounding this idea. Honestly, who cares? Let's just dive right into it. Take note that this officer will probably be the nicest person you see in this entire video.
Okay, you guys have any questions?
Well, it's a public park, so I do wonder why it's being closed when it's a public park. I mean, we're not breaking a law.
You can just already see how done this man is. He's like, oh, it's a
Public park.
and he literally raises his hands just dumbfounded by it. Yes, it is a public park, meaning that in a situation in a place where we are not to be public, things like public places would be closed. It is a place where people gather, have great times, murder their ex-spouse. It's a great place to be. So yes, during a pandemic, we probably would not allow such places to be open. Just take that with a grain of salt. It's not directed specifically towards you, and just go about your day like everybody else.
The city closed it, and the city can close the park at any time.
Under what grounds? Under what grounds can they just come in and...
The city code says they can.
We have to
With the
still pay
city-
taxes, right? And we're paying taxes down. We don't get a refund on the parks we're paying for.
What a strong observation, lady. We don't get refunds on taxes. Trust me, nobody does. You're not special in this scenario. I know you were hoping to be viewed as special, but I hate to break it to you, you're not. Yes, it sucks. We can't go to parks. We can't have our barbecues. There are other things to do. And yes, we have this thing called the 10th Amendment, meaning states can pretty much do that. It's to prevent a single power in federal government to have control over every single state. So yes, the state is very well legally allowed to close such areas.
Not the one to argue with. The one to argue with, if you don't like it, is the mayor or the parks director. I'm just a law enforcement officer, and I've been asked to come here and make sure everyone knows.
You know that old saying of don't shoot the messenger? Quick tip. Just fucking leave the park!
Right, you're the line of enforcement on an order that, quite frankly, is unconstitutional.
Okay, that's something to take up with the mayor and the parks director.
But you're enforcing it right now.
Yeah.
It's your choice, right?
But you're enforcing the law right now. That's your choice. Pretty sure that's his job. Also, yeah, God forbid, how unconstitutional is it of us to, you know, try to slow the spread of a disease? How awful. He's just doing his job, lady. Gotta give the man a break.
I could charge people, but I don't want to do that.
Have you done
Yeah.
that? Have you
I
done
have
that at any
not.
point?
I have not. I
Okay,
don't
do you
want
plan to? If people decide to...
Ma'am, don't get mad at me.
I'm not-
just
we're
out here. I'm
frustrated.
trying to...
Right.
So this
Don't
is
be
the
mad
deal.
at us. We're just the moms who are paying taxes and frustrated with this whole thing.
But we're just moms who pay taxes who are fed up with the whole thing.
Congratulations, you pay your taxes like everybody else. Bravo. I'm not gonna give you a pat on your back for doing that. It's a thing we all have to do. Take your kids home and just follow the rules. That's all you gotta do. The easiest thing you have to do is literally sit in one place.
He can tell you exactly what you can and can't do. I will tell you, the playground is closed. We told you.
No, we're just
We're
moms.
just trying to protect people here.
Right.
out in the air with the sun.
Right. Protect us from getting vitamin D and letting our kids play in the sunshine. I mean...
Park's closed, ma'am. Officer is straight up about it. He says, park's closed, end of story. That's not good enough for you, apparently. So then we have this homie who's just like, we're just trying to protect people.
We're just trying to protect people here.
That's not good enough for you either. So then you rehash the most half-assed excuse I've ever heard.
Right. Protect us from getting vitamin D and letting our kids play in the sunshine.
You're trying to prevent us from my children getting vitamin D?
Ma'am, they make this fantastic thing called Sunny D. Shit's lit. But in all seriousness, it's like you could go for like maybe a walk with your masks on around the neighborhood, keep the 6 feet of isolation going down, you know, six foot rule. You know, you could do that. You could hang out in a backyard if you have something available such as that. You know, maybe invest in a trampoline and enjoy some fun backyard activities. Maybe a slip and slide. It's getting to summertime. I don't know, something crazy like that. But no, we specifically have to go to the park that is closed. But now we're getting to the best part where he gives her multiple warnings. Y'all gotta check this out. This just goes amazing.
Ma'am, I have told you to exit numerous times. This is it. Exit the playground area now. Ma'am, you have 5 seconds.
Do it. Record it.
Okay, this is not... Officer, you don't want to do that. Officer, you don't...
You're being detained.
Boom! Big reveal. She literally tells the officer to arrest her and then is like, you can tell she's kind of shocked afterwards. She's like, am I being arrested or detained? Like, you know, she kind of second guessing what she's just done here. And this lady, she's like,
Officer, you don't want to do that.
like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna post this on Facebook and be like, wow, look at this officer doing his job. And what's the big movement? You gonna get some spotlight on some news show and they're gonna talk about how brave you were? No, you're being dumb. Just go home. You can avoid this being on your record now that you got arrested. Pretty sure not a lot of people want to add that to their achievements list in life. It's not the most desired thing. Well, there was that one grandma who did want to, like, before she passed away, she did want to be arrested once in her life. That's a wholesome story. Definitely check that out. But you could have avoided this whole mess by taking your kids home and just vibing at home. Now check this out. As she's being walked away, look at all of these people here. Look at all of these lads vibing. There are so many people at this park. So many moms got together, thought
This is gonna be a powerful statement. We'll show them.
and now one of them's arrested and y'all still had to vacate the park. What did you achieve here except getting arrested? Well, I'm sorry, detained. Lady, it doesn't matter if you're being arrested or detained. You're in handcuffs and you could have avoided that situation. Before moving away from this particular topic onto the next one, I thought I'd share that this woman actually came out and made an apology, if you'd like to call it that.
It wasn't a mom arrested for letting her kids play at a park. It was a woman who refused to leave a closed playground.
And I want to try to make this right between us.
When she left her house on Tuesday, she had no intention of protesting or even making a public spectacle.
Okay.
It wasn't planned.
I never thought a knee-jerk comment made to you out of frustration by me wanting my kids to play at a park would create such a divide amongst our friends, family, community, the state of Idaho, our nation, and the world. The reality of the situation is that I have been stuck at home for the last 5 weeks, as the rest of America has also watching this great nation and our God-given rights crumble before my eyes.
But she goes on to say that she feels her rights are being taken away and that she's been cooped up inside with kids for the past 5 weeks, which I get. I mean, I can barely handle 5 minutes on an airplane with a kid, but there are numerous parents across the world who are dealing with the same issue. Personally, for me, I don't believe we're really having our rights taken away. I just feel that there's an issue going on and we have to make changes to combat it. That may result in us having to make temporary changes to the way our daily lives are, and that's just how it do be, fam. As for her saying she wasn't participating in the protests, I mean, I'm not buying all that too much. Look, you just don't, and I could totally be wrong here, pick a random day to break regulations and take your kid to the park, and it just so happened to be the same day the local moms are throwing a protest. Also, you're not helping your believability in your case when you decide to confront this homie who's just trying to be nice and advocate the ideals of the protests onto him. I mean, look at it like this. Say I'm feeling mischievous one morning and I'm down to steal more than the hearts of senior citizens. Also, before getting into this, it's just for example purposes. I do not condone condone nor would ever encourage stealing. I roll up to my local grocery store. I don't know, still a handful of New England clam chowder or some shit like that. Something wild, nothing that'll land me in 40 plus years in prison. I'm walking out the door and I see some armed homies looking like they're about to GTA heist the place. They start knocking shells of clam chowder in their bags and whatever, and then they bolt towards another door, but you know, the cops pull up and tell them to drop the chowder. Now, there are two things I can do here in this situation. I can logically take into the fact that this is probably the time to leave and I can easily dip out since I wasn't a part of the clam chowder heist, or I could walk over to the cops with clam chowder in my hands and be like,
Hey fam, we just trying to munch, you feel?
do you honestly think once I'm put in cuffs they'll believe I had nothing to do with the heist, especially when the other heist members who I've never met show up to the cop's house in the dead of night to protest?
She apologized for protesters showing up at his house that night.
Nah fam, it ain't happening. Again, like I said, could just be bad moves at the wrong place in the wrong time, but I'm still gonna hold my skepticism. Moving on now, I came across this video that's pretty popular now for, you know, all the wrong reasons, and it's of these celebrity lads singing to a song, I guess to bring us all together, you know, kumbaya and shit like that. It's about as cringy as it sounds. The song is called Imagine by John Lennon. I haven't heard much John Lennon in my day, but I'd go out on a limb and say that if he knew that this level of cringe would be spewed out in what seems to be like the longest TikTok video on earth, he may have taken his work on this song and just kept it to himself where he could keep it safe. Hey, let's take a listen.
Imagine there's no heaven. Easy if you try.
No hell below us.
Above us only sky.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie, some of these people actually have pretty decent singing voices, not to deduct any points in that category. But moving on to the real meat and patates of this video, it's just the biggest question of what the fuck does this actually help with? Look, I know I'm gonna come across here as negative, like, you know, whatever fam. They tried to do something nice and I get that, but I think there's just such a disconnect here. And not trying to say anything, but yeah, those numbers ain't helping an opposing argument here. I feel, and this is just my opinion, and I'm not trying to sound like some alcoholic-induced boomer, but I get the feeling that a lot of celebrities don't really understand that we aren't all living inside of some glorious Amazon Alexa commercial, you know, where the house is all neat and the family looks like non-dysfunctional and little Timmy's making straight A's and all that jazz. In reality, it's more like unwashed dishes, lack of dopamine, clothes on the floor, you know, some homie who's now unemployed, too unmotivated to get out of bed at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, but has to pay bills and finish schoolwork, 15 missed calls from your mom asking why you aren't a CEO or married yet. That's kind of the predominant household for a lot of people right now. And I know from my experience with trying to juggle a job and making time for content creation and editing, I'm not going to wake up one morning and see and like flex out of bed with a new look on life. It's cringy fam. Like, they're not bad people, but it's just such a disconnected and pointless video, and I don't think I'm the only person who agrees on that. Okay, this chick might be a generally nice person, but this just made me shrivel up like a pair of balls hitting ice water in the dead of winter. I get we all need to stay home, and, you know, we do. Like, no taking naps on benches or armed robbery or, you know, setting up goat sacrifice circles in the dead of night with your homies. You know, nothing social like that. But what it seems to be is that a lot of these lads seem to forget that most people have these crazy things to do every couple of weeks, called bills. Kinda need them paid or most homies won't have a home to stay home at. However, if you do have to go out, make sure it's something essential like food, gas, or medical assistance. Don't go out without a face mask either. If you don't have a face mask, you can order some pretty cheap and easily, and you know, a lot of stores have them available now. It's like picking candy out or something. Just make sure you don't go out like these homies, as much cloud producing as their outfits may be. Oh, and I can't not forget the story of the guy at the grocery store my dad was at the other day. So this homie rolls up, you know, touches stuff with gloves on, you know, what you should do to keep healthy and clean. And he takes his glove off, can't find a way to, like, you know, a place to put it down so he can text on his phone. So he just puts it in his mouth, you know, by the finger. It's not like those were just touching surfaces all over a store with a bunch of people or anything. Don't be this guy. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you made it to the end of the video, I thank you. It means a lot to me and it helps the channel out a ton. If you're interested in helping with ways this channel can grow, feel free to drop a like, subscribe, and a comment about your thoughts down below, as well as checking out my Patreon. Also, I'd love to see you over on my Twitch in the description below so we can chat and, you know, get to vibe a little bit. I stream pretty often, so it's a great way to connect. Hope you're all doing well and make sure to take care of yourselves. Until next time, all you beautiful people, keep it chill.